Good to see you back, guys. Again, I'm back with a new tutorial related JavaScript, and in this tutorial we are going to learn JavaScript addEventListener. These are all basic events and we know how we can use that. And for those events we need to use event attribute. As you can see in this button, we set an event on click, and after click this button it's going to call ABC function. So in that way we can add events on any HTML tag. Suppose you want to call a function when you hover your mouse to an image. For that, you need to use this event on mouse enter. And if you learn basic JavaScript, you are already familiar with that. But there is a problem with this technique. Every time we need to go back our HTML document to set this attribute. Here we use inline events, and it creates our HTML file heavy and complex. So we don't want to mess up JavaScript attribute with HTML tag. For that, JavaScript comes with two solutions. In our first solution, we assign the event by the help of DOM. As you can see, document.getElementById, by ID, we select the particular element by its ID name, then we select the particular event and call the function. So whenever we click the HTML element, it's going to call the function. Let me show you the practical example and see how it's works. As you can see, side by side I open my Visual Studio Code editor and my browser using LiveServer extension, and I open my previous document HTML file and main.js. And now in our JavaScript file, I'm going to call our event. Whenever I click on this header portion, I want to change the background color. So at first, I'm going to truncate this element by its ID name. So here I'm going to type document dot get element by ID. Inside the round braces, we need to pass the ID name. And the ID name is, as you can see, header. So copy the ID name and paste it here. Now, here we need to pass the event name. So I'm going to type dot and our event name is onClick equal to, and here we need to call the function name, and our function name is ABC. Then semicolon to end this line. Now we call the function, but we do not create the function. For that, I'm going to create the function. So here I'm going to type function and our function name is ABC, round braces. Then inside the curly braces, and I want to change the header background color when I click on it. So again, we need to select this element, and I want to select this element by its ID name. So copy this line and paste it here. Dot style. And we already learned about style method in our previous tutorials. After style, we need to pass the property name, and I want to change background color. Background equal to, and I want to set green color. Then semicolon to end this line. Now I'm going to save this file. After save this file, and when I click on this header section, as you can see, it's going to change the color. It's turned gray to green. Let me show you again. So if I refresh this page, as you can see, now the header background color is gray. But if I click on it, as you can see, it's turned into green. So in that way, we can add events in our HTML tag. So this is it. In the next tutorial, we are going to show you how we can use addEventListener method. Now, let's talk about addEventListener method. It is the very useful method in JavaScript. After select the element, we need to type addEventListener. It is the method name. After that, you need to pass two parameters. Basically, we need to pass total 3 parameters, but for now, I'm going to show you 2 parameters. In our first parameter, we need to pass the event name. And remember, for click method, just we need to type click, not on click. Similarly, for on mouse enter, just we need to type mouse enter. And for on DVL click, we need to type DVL click. And in our next parameter, we need to pass the function name. Otherwise, you can create the inline function. If you don't want to call the function, you can create the function in this line. You need to type function keyword, then round braces, and inside the curly braces, you can pass your statement. So let's start the practical and see how we can use it. So again, I'm back to my Visual Studio Code editor. So here I'm going to use the addEventListener method, and I'm going to call ABC function. So I'm going to remove this line and I'm going to type addEventListener. And then we need to use round braces, and here we need to pass total 2 parameters. In our first parameter, we need to pass the event name, which is click. And in our second parameter, we need to pass the function name, which is ABC. And if I save this file and hover my cursor on this header section, and if I press click, as you can see, again it's turning to gray to green. So this is how it's work. As I told you, it's a very popular method because using this method we can add multiple events in an element. Let me show you the demonstration. So I'm going to duplicate this line and here I'm going to type addEventListener and our event name is mouse enter. Mouse enter. And as I told you, if we use this method, we don't need to type the full name of our event. Just we need to type mouse enter, not on mouse enter. And now I'm going to create an inline function. I don't want to pass any function name here. For that, here we need to use function keyword. Function. And inside the round braces, I don't want to pass any parameter for now. And then we need to use curly braces. And inside the curly braces, we need to pass this statement. At first, I'm going to select the same element by its ID name. So I'm going to copy this line and paste it inside the curly braces. Then I'm going to type dot style function. Style dot, and this time I want to play with border property of this element. So I'm going to type style dot border equal to, inside the double quotes, I'm going to pass 10 pixel solid and I want blue border. And here I'm going to pass the semicolon to end this line and save this file. And now I want to hover my cursor on this header portion. If I hover my cursor on this header portion, you can see it extends our border width up to 10 pixel. With that, it set a border color blue. Now it's run on mouse enter event. And if I click on it, at the same time, you can see it's turned into green color. And then it run click event. So using this method, at the same time, we can add multiple events. And now I'm going to show you another trick. Here I'm going to use the same event in the same element at the same time, but for the different task. So I'm going to remove on mouse enter and here I'm going to type click again. And I'm going to save this file. As you can see, now the border color is red and border width is 2 pixel. With that, the background color is gray. If I click on it at the same time it's changed the background color. Also, it's changed the border width and the color. This trick is possible if we use only this method, addEventListener. Now, let me show you another advanced thing. Here you can see we target this element header and we assign an event to this element, click. And also we style the same element in our function. So we can use a shortcut and remove this section from here. And here I'm going to use this keyword, base dot style dot border. This means the element we target. And here we target the header portion. So using this keyword, we can reduce some characters from it. If I save this code and hover my cursor on this header section and click on it, you can see the same result. It's not going to affect in our result. So this is it for this tutorial. In the next tutorial, we are going to talk about the third parameter of addEventListener function. Thanks for watching this video.